Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the Infinite Prosperity Podcast. My name is Louisa Havers, and I help high achievers, entrepreneurs, and coaches lift the lid on life and business so that they can live at their highest value. Each episode, we will bring you our favourite founders, CEOs, and guest experts to share with you their insights and strategies to expand your wealth consciousness, your spiritual leadership, and aligned business strategies. We know that living in alignment with your soul's mission is what fulfills you, and we are here to show you how to achieve this in an energetically aligned way. If you haven't already, be sure to claim your free abundance activation in the Akashic Records. Go to louisahavers.com/gift to unlock your abundance activation today. And if you'd like my support in having aligned success in life and business, then contact me at www.louisahavers.com and let's explore together if it's an aligned match. Get ready to live at your highest value and to expand into your next level of money as you elevate and receive more. You create more for others. Righty ho, let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to our episode this week. I am so excited and honored to have the incredible Sarah Lines with us. Sarah is the founder of the globally recognized New Earth School. She has built a soulful six-figure business and has co-created 5 best-selling books around spirituality and entrepreneurship. With lifetimes of experience, she has mentored hundreds of heart-centered entrepreneurs to ascend spiritually and enjoy their first 5-figure months in support of expanding their soul mission. And when she's not running her company, you can find her reading, researching all things mystical, and cuddling up to her cats. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So excited. And the bit that thrilled me so much out of all that incredible impact that you're making in the world is your cats, because I'm a cat lover too.
Just the best.
They really are. They really are. That was the one
Yeah.
thing that when we left the UK and we had to leave our cats behind, that's the bit that's been pulling on our heartstrings.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh.
So I'm sure you can imagine. Anyway, I am so excited to have this conversation with you. So I would love to let's start at the beginning, because everyone's got a journey to how they're coming to do what they're doing. So I'd love to know what made you start your business. How did you get started?
Yeah.
There is so much I know for people with different pivotal moments along their journey. So I'd love to hear. Tell us all the things.
Thank you. Yes. So, long story short, there was a lot of addiction and poverty in my past. I was a single mum. And I decided, okay, how am I going to support myself and my children? I knew I loved helping people. So I thought, well, I'll become a nurse. So I became a nurse. I fell in love with working with women and babies. So I became a midwife. And then, that was the peak of my dark night of the soul. My addiction took me down, a dark path, and I lost everything. I lost my children. I lost all material possessions, my midwifery registration, and then I started the journey climbing back, not to the top, but creating a new life for myself in recovery about 10 years ago. Got my registration back and I thought, yes, now I can work in hospitals. But Spirit had another plan. I'd already started my journey. I had awoken and I realized it's not working in hospitals, but I know it's helping people. So I became a healer, and that Reiki opened up the pathways for me to a life I never could have even envisioned for myself at the time. I just kept following the breadcrumbs of my soul, opened my practice, and I don't even know how this happened. I just kept following those little breadcrumbs, and today I look back and go, it kind of happened quickly. My first 2 years of taking my business online, it just kind of exploded because I was so on mission, and
Mm,
that's the key, that's the key.
that's incredible. What a journey, and congratulations for being able to be on the recovery path. I know it's a lifelong journey for people,
It
and
is.
huge kudos
Thank
for
you.
being able to achieve that,
Thank you.
to move beyond that, and to be able to have that wisdom and expertise as well to help people. Because addiction, I think, is there's so many nuances and layers to it, and even
Mhm.
people often think it's just not just, but whether it's associated, I should say, with drugs and alcohol. Gambling, I would think people often think those are the kind of three big ones, but actually there's shopping, there's food, there's our
Totally.
iPhones.
Yes.
So
Yes.
many things where we're trying to cope with all the stuff that we've got going on in life. So
Mhm.
just to mention that for a moment. And I would love to hear, so because you've had so many experiences wrapped up within that,
Mhm.
from your perspective, because this is the Infinite Prosperity podcast, what does prosperity mean to you?
Ah, I love just even the energy of the word, right? It's lightness, it's a freedom, it's a prosperity of love in my life, health in my life, the light in my life. It's expansive. And of course it's money, you know. Money is that material manifestation of being able to live a prosperous life because money creates prosperity in other areas too. You know, when you've got money, you can pay for other things to create better health and work on yourself by investing in yourself. You know, all the things. It's just so all encompassing. It's really an umbrella word, isn't it?
It
So,
is, it is. I often call it that. Well, I call it the trifecta of prosperity because we want that, we want all of it, don't we? As you were saying, we want the health, the wealth, the love, all the things. We don't want to trade one for the other. And so often I find people do that as we're on that
yeah.
path of self-actualization. Is the subconscious just has a beautiful way of trying to kind of keep the things the same and bringing us back
Uh-huh.
onto that path of familiarity. So it's like, oh, hang on, you're growing more money here. Let's create some more stress that is that default set point in your body, so we can keep the things the same. So, gosh, there must be so. I just want to dive back into this because there's so many things that have happened for you in terms of having gone from nursing to doing incredible spiritual work now. So, how has
Mhm.
that, well, in terms of from the journey of transitioning from, let's say, conventional business practices to integrating your intuitive wisdom and sustainable strategies in your entrepreneurial ventures? I'd love to dive
Yes.
into that and for you to share your journey
Yeah.
with that because it's you've really reinvented yourself with all the things that you've done.
Yes, and the key really has been, I mentioned it before, following the breadcrumbs from my soul. So, the first 2 years in business, I was just learning how to run a business. I've never run a business before. So I was
Yeah.
following all the guidance, following the mentors, following what other people were doing online. And yes, it got me to a certain level, but then I guess I was fortunate enough with the income where I was at to go, okay, now I want to tweak this. Now I want to make this feel better for me in my soul. And that is speaking from my heart instead of feeling like
Mm.
I was maybe regurgitating other content. It's okay, how does Sarah actually want to be in the world? What offerings do I want to create? And coming back to sustainable strategies, there are sustainable strategies that I use, on the regular and I've molded them to feel good for me. For me, I love launching because I get to connect with women. I was a registered midwife, but that goes beyond this lifetime, midwifing women. I love that beautiful, intimate support. So I get to sort of be in my own zone of, yeah, it's a business, but beyond that, this is a mission. And how do I want to serve within my mission? So it's really, it's a merging, really. It's not one or the other. It's a beautiful merging of those 3D aspects and the 5D aspects so that we're walking that beautiful path that feels good and aligned, soul aligned. Yeah.
I agree with you there because I think so often where we see the wonkiness, it'd be interesting to your reflection on this as well, is where we may be leaning too heavily on 3D strategies.
Mhm.
They are important, of course, and forgetting the spiritual, or the focusing on the spiritual and never doing any of the 3D strategies. There needs to be a beautiful blend, like you say. And
Yeah.
I think that actually energetics and spirituality is a business strategy. And if we can kind of weave it in like that, does that make sense from your perspective as well?
It totally does. Over the last 3 years now, it was 3 years ago, I brought in, well, I asked to be connected with a business guide, and it happened to be Archangel Michael. I've been connected with him every day ever since, at night when I go to bed. That's when I do my questioning. Which path is the best path forward? It's really that collapses timelines too within your business. It can save you a lot of time when you are intuitively led like that. But that is a big part of my business. Absolutely, is that spiritual aspect.
It's so true
Yeah.
that I think when we're channeling higher realms of consciousness, we tap into the bigness, the possibility of the impact that we can make.
Oh yeah.
And if we allow ourselves to follow that intuition and that guidance, like you were saying,
Mm,
collapses timelines. Of course, the fear can bubble up and we can start to
totally.
rationalize things, and the subconscious will give us some
Yeah.
incredible thoughts about why we should actually do X, Y, and Z instead. And then we go and believe those thoughts have just been triggered
Yes.
by our nervous system. And it can kind of create that
Mm-hmm.
push pull.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How do you navigate that?
Yes, I've been thinking of some really good examples over the last, couple of years, especially when, I thought, my human thought makes sense to offer this, right? It just makes sense. I'm good at this, I can help with this. But internally I was kept getting these nudges to offer, very more feminine, spiritually based programs, money based. Didn't quite make sense to me, but they were my most profitable months offering those programs when I followed my intuition. It's amazing.
It's absolutely incredible. I know you've coined the phrase, you used the phrase New Earth entrepreneurship. How do you define that when you're in your business, and what would you say the core principles are that guide your approach to conscious business?
Yeah, I love this question. This is so on my heart a lot is, well, first of all, as a New Earth leader, how can I pave the way for others so that they can also, you know, um, follow the New Earth path, or whatever you want to call it. I believe we're all here for this time, right? Especially as entrepreneurs. So New Earth businesses, these are the soulful entrepreneurs, the heart-centered entrepreneurs, the light workers, the light leaders. It's those people in business that you just know you're here to make a difference, and you know it's big and it's going to create an impact, right? To
Mhm.
me, that's just the term I personally use, as the New Earth business. Yeah.
I think that's so helpful, because as you were talking, I was thinking, for those that, how would they know that that resonates with them if they're not familiar with that term, New Earth? There may be some people that
Yes.
are listening that know that they want to make a big impact, but some of this
Mhm.
terminology is new, and it's like, where do I
Yeah.
fit in with this?
Yes, and it's very much a feeling too. Like when they hear the term, it's just like it gives you that feeling like that's me. That's what I'm here for.
Mm, yeah, I love that. And you were talking earlier about, following the breadcrumbs. I feel like those feelings are those breadcrumbs, aren't they? You're like, I
Mhm.
don't know what that is, but I know that's for me. I'm gonna go and look over there and start to unpack it. So the core principles that guide your approach, just
Yes,
to kind of recap on those,
absolutely.
that would be
Yes.
helpful.
Yeah, perfect. Core principle for me, just the huge one is this unconditional love energy, right? That's literally going to change the world when we can sort of, I don't know, it's a big job, but dissolving those judgments and those energies that are just not going to support the new earth paradigm. So unconditional love, it's the big one. It's being in integrity, it's being authentic. And I actually channeled through some beautiful codes recently for an event, and it was called Coded for More, and it was the 7 ascension codes to master uh, to explode your mission business. And this is sort of what it was encompassing. And we spoke about passion codes, being in your passion, and those love codes, the joy codes. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but it's those codes that we can live by. It's your soul codes, what makes you up, and that's going to be individual for everyone, yet similar, right?
Yeah, I love that. The soul codes. That's awesome. So awesome. I think people can really connect with that and recognize that their uniqueness within how our soul is translating its purpose and being able to fulfill it in the world. Oh, I love this conversation so much. So let's dive in deeper. I would love to know in terms of because this comes up for a lot of people where we're talking about moving forward and expanding consciousness and being able to live in that place of unconditional love. And along the way, of course, there's going to be many decisions that we need to make. And that can create that kind of push-pull sensation for people. So I'd love to hear, can you elaborate on the importance of intuition in decision making from your
Yeah.
perspective, Sarah, in terms of, in this beautiful realm of entrepreneurship?
Mhm. Yes. Ooh, it's a big topic. I've spoken about how I've been guided by my intuition, but I think it would be
Mm.
helpful if I speak to the times where I didn't, and
That's always
just,
good.
the overflow effect on that. And those were the moments usually when I wasn't in my power, and I
Mm.
thought someone or something was going to come in and swoop me off my feet and make everything different or better in my business, invested lots of money from the wrong space. It was just from the wrong energy. So rather than really feeling into my body, how does this feel? I wanted the thing so much, I was willing to put my power in that person. And then only looking back from the experience can I go, okay, I can see why I was feeling guided to go this way. I can see why this experienced or this undesirable experience happened. So it's really, for me, for me to be able to feel my way through this, it helps me personally to look back and look at the times where I did follow my intuition and it worked out so beautifully, and the times where I didn't, and then the lessons to gain from that, because I'm a human being, right? My human aspect can jump to the forefront sometimes and want to do the things, and yeah, it's a learning curve, and we grow that muscle and we grow that trust.
It's trust. It comes up so often, our relationship with our self-trust
Mm,
in entrepreneurship and in spirituality. I think it's the big one that is lurking there for people. And we can
yes.
only grow our businesses as much as we trust ourselves.
Yeah.
It's such a key aspect.
Mm,
And, of course, as we grow our businesses, we get burnt along the way in terms of
yeah.
those opportunities, the gifts of where
Yeah.
perhaps you made a decision, as you say, because I've noticed this, of course, within my own business as well, where I
Mm,
haven't followed my intuition. Hey, guess what? It hasn't gone as well as others had anticipated. But they are gifts, aren't they, for actually
yes.
being able to go, do you know what? I can trust myself even more now because I made that decision that didn't pan out, right? Because it proved to me that actually the
Exactly.
intuition was right. Does that make sense?
It really does, and I'm glad you said that, because, so many women can lose trust when they make a bad decision, but really there are always gifts in those decisions, and we can actually come back to further self-trust because now we've got that extra notch on our belt, or however you
Mm,
wanna call it, of what feels good, what feels aligned, what feels like an intuitive decision, and what doesn't. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, there's so much here. So just to kind of, wrap it up, what would you say are your three tips that you'd say to entrepreneurs, like, do this. These are the things that will help you to create that, fulfillment in life, that prosperity in life, that impact.
Yeah. So 3 tips. First one would be, okay, it's authenticity. We can really judge ourselves so much and compare ourselves to other entrepreneurs online, but it's just all noise. Because when you are authentic and you are sharing your own soul codes with the world, that's the magnet piece right there, right? So it's your mission, and I speak about this a lot, your mission, your strategy, your energy. So when you're on mission, that's the first tip. Strategy, choose a strategy. It's going to work if you've got the energy behind it. So that's the
Mm.
third tip, is work on your energy. So that's my three. And there's so much to that, but mission, strategy, energy equals wealth, right?
So true, so true. I love it. I love it. There's so much here. So I know how can I know you've got a free gift. So tell us about the free gift and how people can come over into your world and all the things.
Yeah, beautiful. So my free gift today, it's called Activate Riches, and it's like a mini training series of the 3 core wounds that you can clear as a woman in business to obviously activate riches. And they are my most favorite topics. I talk about the witch wound, the prostitution wound, and ancestral wound. So that is my free gift to your beautiful listeners. And you can find me at newearthschool.com.au.
Oh, that is so awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying up later and coming on
Thank you. You're
to
so
our show.
welcome.
It's so wonderful to be able to connect with you and to connect with everybody, of course, around the world. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening. Be sure to download Sarah's incredible free gift because those 3 core wounds, they can rumble away behind the scenes. And always there's so much to uncover as we explore these always more layers of learning and evolving, aren't there? So this is a true gift. Thank you so much, Sarah. And thank you for
Thank
being here and for
thank
your contributions. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We'd love to hear what resonated for you. Be sure to share the episode with those that you think it will resonate with, and come and find Sarah and I on social media and let us know how this episode has impacted you. Until next time, sending you all lots and lots of love. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Infinite Prosperity Podcast. And if you like what you've heard and want to know more, please go to louisahavers.com. We just appreciate you so much. So thank you for listening and hanging out with us. If there's anything that we can do for you, you can email us at louisa@louisahavers.com. Let my team know if you have any ideas for shows that you'd love to hear or topics you want me to talk about. Really looking forward to hearing from you. All right, that is it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Until next time, namaste.